one of the major problems our parents are facing is the lack of peer interaction for their children. What do you think is the impact that this would have on these children, since they're not going to preschools, they have very limited interaction?
I think one thing to remember is just how resilient kids can be. I think I don't want people to panic too much that, their kids won't ever catch up socially. I do think that kids are resilient. So that's one thing. And I think that with the appropriate support from their parents and with being able to interact with a small group of kids, they're really going to be able to develop social skills. But there are things that parents can do in order to help them accomplish this. So I think one thing that I did with my own son is that I know that we're trying to limit screen time as much as possible, but given the circumstances, I think it's also important for them to connect with other kids through screen time, because that's if that is the only way they can do so. So it's actually possible to set up a video chat with your child's friend through FaceTime or another type of video chat. And I know it's pretty tough for little kids, but it actually worked really well for my son. Back when he was about 2.5, we called one of his friends and we set up the cameras so the kids could see each other, and they actually got out the same toy. So they got out some Play-Doh to play with, and they got out some dinosaur toys, and they were just playing together as if they were together, but they were really just on the screen. So I think that's one way to facilitate social development, is to try to have those virtual play dates, even once a week, once every 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be that frequent, but just to get them a little bit of social interaction. And then the other thing that I've been doing is doing some pretend social situations using dolls or using toy animals. And so I know my son really loves pretend play. So we get out some toy animals and the animals are playing with each other. And then I might initiate some sort of a conflict. So I might say, oh, well, this animal really wants to play with the ball, but so does this animal. What should they do? And then we talk about how maybe the animals could compromise. One animal could use it first, and then they could share. And so just coming up with those scenarios that are typical for preschoolers. So sharing is a big one. And I do worry about, my own son and his ability to learn how to share, because he's been lucky enough to be able to go to preschool during part of the pandemic, but the kids are at separate tables and they're not allowed to share toys. And so sometimes when he gets home with his sister, he tells her, oh, this is your area of the room and this is my area of the room. And he doesn't understand the concept of sharing. So I try to just, get that through to him through his interaction with his sibling and through pretend play situations where I come up with different social skills that we can practice, even though other kids are not physically present.